Yo, welcome to the Flex Zone. It's your man. It's your boy. It's your host. Your friendly reminder, Jay Henderson. I'm here with my brother, lifelong friend from knee high to grasshoppers. My big brother, Michael Swift. What's going on, man?
What's up, brother? What's up, brother? Man, hey, man, it's good to see you again, man.
Yes,
It's been a minute. Good to see
it's
you.
been a
Proud of
while.
you. Like what you're doing.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I always go back to even when talking with David, I always go back to Buckner. I always go back to Buckner, man. We hey, a lot of people, yeah.
It's difficult not to, man. It's
It's
difficult.
it's so hard not to, man, getting out of church, walking down the street, you know what I'm saying, man. It's and hey bro, you know what I always even in moments of my life right now, I always reflect back on where we could have the narrative could have been different. I
Yes.
always reflect back on things. I don't know about y'all, but I know we used to complain about being in church all the time.
Oh, we all did, man. We all did. Almost every day, every single day of the week.
Literally,
You know,
literally.
you walking out the door with your mouth poked out, man. About to get slapped. Like you better fix that mouth.
Yes, yes, and our parents were pioneers of uh, uh, our lifetime. When you go back to Yo Mama and Pastor McGee, Sister Willie Mae, all of those people that was a big part of our childhood. All of those people that was a big part of who we are today. You know what
Oh
I'm
yeah.
saying?
Absolutely. The journey alone, man, is just it's amazing to sit back and just think about, where you started to where you are to where you're looking to be, where you're
Yeah.
looking to go. So
Yes.
it's humbling.
Yes. Yes. Talking to some of the, one of the first things I said was when I started this podcast, man. I had a whole nother plan, and I said, I was gonna do this and I was gonna do that, and I didn't want to grab too many people from Tallulah and others, but the history of me as an individual comes from my people. You know what I'm saying? It comes from you. It comes from Andre, Sean Coleman, James Maurice, and Sean Maurice, all of those guys that was older than us, that was in our lives. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have to look up to the guys that other people looked up to. You know what I'm saying? We had positive influence, and none of us was perfect. But to be able to reconnect in life at this point, and know that I can't say like big brothers. Y'all my big brothers. Y'all the people that was around when we was kids, that saw us little nappy heads. you
Yeah,
know.
that's what's crazy too. It didn't matter what house you lived in, really. We were all a huge family, man. I tell
Yes.
people, some nights you could have dinner 3 or 4 times, man.
Yeah.
You're talking with each other like, hey, man, what your mama cook? You know, we eat there, then go there.
Yes. Yes, indeed, man. And it was just a good time. I think when it comes to now, I feel like the world is more divided than it was back then. Back then, we had the camaraderie that even though if somebody had an argument, or if somebody, you didn't really hear about nobody falling out back then.
Right.
In church, we was in church almost every Monday. I think Monday was choir rehearsal, Tuesday Bible study, Wednesday youth service, Thursday brothers
Yep.
meeting, Friday night service.
Yep. Yep. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
so yeah, it was just a family thing. Everybody, we get on that van, we'll pile up on that van, go to Lake Providence.
Yep. I mean, it was a true community. I mean, a
Yes,
true community. You couldn't go to somebody's house and get in trouble and then go home and try to lie about it because you wasn't gonna be heard anyway. you
no,
know,
no,
like they already know. The parents
yeah,
already know.
Yeah.
So man,
So when people see uh, you now, even out here in Georgia, with us both being here in Georgia, and doing what we're doing, and so many other people from Tallulah that's done really, really amazing things. Um, you got Orlandis Wells, who I had on a few weeks ago, Chastity Butler, Lonnie Cooper, and Anthony Lucas, all these guys that them played ball and got drafted by. These people come from our hometown. You know what I'm saying? And moments, even Chastity's son, Cam, who plays for, I think he got drafted to the Raiders, just having those people that come from where we're from and doing amazing things. A lot of times people look at our small towns. I go back to what Orlando said when he was talking about the small town upbringing. You know what I'm saying? We have that bond that keeps us connected. It's one thing to grow up in a big city, I think, where you off to yourself, but to have somebody where you can call on, or somebody in those times where you're feeling low, or you could call on a person. That's where we started as kids.
right,
Um,
right,
Singing in the
right.
Sunshine Band.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right. The building blocks were laid for it then. As
yes,
kids, the way you talk to each other, the way you respected each other, the way you just genuinely cared about each other.
yes, yeah. And that brings us to where we are right now. Sitting here passing information to people in three different regions of the world, and so many states here in the United States, and sharing knowledge. That's what this platform is for. I didn't want to build a reputation off of calling celebrity names, or all of the glory that comes from this goes to God. That's the celebrity. That's the name
Oh
that
yeah.
gets the credit. You know,
Hey,
yeah,
that's the same thing over here, man. Everything that I've done, everything I got, you can never do anything just you. If you're trying to do everything yourself, you'll never get anywhere.
yeah, yeah. So let's get into another black tech company. When you told me the name, and with what's going on with technology nowadays, it was for our culture. For our culture, I always try to, because it's a multicultural background. We've had different people from different walks of life on this platform and shared their cultural experiences. But I think the one that's most relatable is my own. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to you and doing what you're doing, you celebrated a few weeks ago. I missed the event. You know,
Yeah, yeah. Had the official launch. What was that? This on the seventh. Back on the seventh.
yeah,
Was it April 7th?
yeah,
April 7th. Yep. So over a month ago. It was May 7th. It was May. Oh,
yeah. It was a Sunday, I think. Was it a Saturday or a
no,
Sunday? It's Saturday.
it was a Friday evening, Friday night,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Friday night.
Yeah. And me and Tasha sitting on the couch. We Her son was over, and we was literally sitting there. I said, "Oh man," I said, "we got to get our clothes for the event." And she looked at me like, she said, that was a day or so ago." And I was like, "Nah, nah." And I jumped up, run over here, because I had it wrote on my sticky note, and I ran. I was like, oh my gosh, I telling Deb about it, but the event itself and the people that you had there. I did the research on the Atlanta
At, um, Atlanta Black Chamber of Commerce.
Black Chamber of
Um,
Commerce.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
and I
then
even go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Yeah, I mentioned it to a guy, and he was telling me about. He was talking. He ended up telling me about the guy that you had as the host,
Melvin Coleman. Yeah,
Melvin Coleman. Yeah, and
yeah, he's the CEO of the Atlanta Black Chambers.
so how did it go, if you don't mind sharing a little bit with us?
Um, you mean the event or just dealing
The
with
the
the Atlanta
event,
Black Chambers? Oh,
the event.
the event was awesome. The event was
Yeah,
awesome. I was hoping to have about 70 people there, and it was just something to kick off, kind of letting people know what Store and Share Vault is, what it was all about, give them the story behind it, how it was birthed, who it's for, you know, and everything in general about Store and Share Vault, pretty much. The
Yeah,
president and CEO of the Atlanta Black Chambers. I've been a member of the Atlanta Black Chambers for about 2 years, almost 3 years now. And
yeah,
I started with them with my commercial janitorial company. I do commercial janitorial and home repair. So I started with them then. And I was about a year and a half into it. And this was back in, this was in October 22. And this was when um, David's husband passed, when Don
yeah,
passed.
yeah,
So that's when I came up with the idea for this. And at that moment, it took me probably 9 months to really get everything where I wanted to, and then
wow,
I started to develop the software, and I got to a point where I know it was going to take some work to really get people educated on what it was. So I went to the Atlanta Black Chambers to Melvin Coleman, the CEO, and I said, "Hey, um, this is what I have. Uh, I'm going to throw. I want to put on a launch for it, and I want you to be the host." So he was like, "Hey, I'm there for you, brother." He's like, this is something that we don't have in our community. This is not something that's even that's even out worldwide right now.
yeah,
So he said, it's a great idea. I'm glad you I'm glad you came up with the idea, and I'm glad you want to you want to showcase it to our community first and
yeah,
foremost. So like I say, the event was beautiful. I mean, it was more than I expected. I got
yeah.
more than I expected from that.
Wow. Yeah, Debbie was telling me about it, and she was saying, about the amount of people that you expected and the amount of people that ended up being, and I thought that was like so amazing. And the part that I know it's so easy to say, oh man, I'm sorry, but I think when it comes to being genuine about supporting your brother, your sister, or just support in general, it goes a whole nother way when it comes to, because it was something that I really wanted to be a part of. Just watching because I think a lot of people, when it comes to us, you can say that you have an idea and nobody support until they see the success of the idea.
Right, right.
You know,
You're right. You're right. Then it's like, oh yeah, I remember. you know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was like, I told Tasha, I say, we got this invite, and I really want to be there. Even with just pushing up through my schedule and trying to balance things out. Apple offered me help when it comes to a team, but I'm not there yet when it comes to being able to employ or give these 7 people this amount of money to help get this off the ground. I'd rather take the step by step process and see it build, and go that route. So it was when I found out the date had passed, I was just, it's always that thing where you like, dang, I wish, but when she said how many people was there, you know what I'm saying? I was like, well, he probably didn't miss me.
No, I did, man. I did. I did.
Yeah,
Like we were saying earlier, that home thing is huge, man.
yeah,
That
yeah,
homeboy, homegirl, family feel, small town.
yeah,
That's huge.
yeah. So give us a little, if you will, the insight on the structure and the layout of the storage vault.
Okay, so store and share vault is what's considered in the tech world as a software as a service sort of application. That what that means is it's a built software that's for consumption, so to speak. That's for consumer. So
Yeah,
what Store and Share Vault is it allows individuals. I'm also working on an enterprise version for businesses as well, but it
yeah,
allows individuals to store private, confidential, legacy documents. So you upload information to Store and Share Vault. You choose, depending on your plan, you choose 4 up to 7 people that you want to add as what's called buddies to your
yeah,
account. And what you'll be able to do from there is you'll be able to specify or specifically decide what information you want to share with what buddy in your account. So, say you've got a will that and you've got you have an account with four buddies. So you have two kids that you want to share that with. So you select that will and you select the people in your account, in your closed network, in your account that you want to share that information with. All right.
Wow.
Another option is you can share it with them immediately, or you can
Yeah.
share it with them on a time release schedule. So,
Yeah.
and this part of the software is actually patented. Um, where everybody now, anything that's out there, you could easily take something and share it with someone, but nobody
Yeah.
has it where you can take that information and you can share it with them on a time release schedule, meaning you set the time period where you want to when you want to share that information with them. um, as an account holder, you'll also have the ability to set up what I call an account verification period. So when you
Yeah.
set up the account, you can say, okay, I want to verify my account every 4 weeks, and around week three, two or three times during that week, we'll send out a reminder saying, hey, you need to verify your account. And one of the time release options, or for that time release option, you can at that 4 week period, if you don't verify your account, we have things in place where we try to contact you to make sure nothing has happened to you. But say
Yeah.
something has happened to you, then that information is automatically forwarded to that individual who you have set up in your account to have that information. So if it's something you don't want to share with them, then you think they're not ready to see it, whether it be PIN numbers for bank accounts or passwords. You can wait until something actually, unfortunately, something actually happens for that information is released to those individuals. And what that does is it allows your affairs to be settled a lot sooner.
Yeah.
So you don't have that pain and anguish of things just dragging on because you don't have the right information or the correct information. That should have been supplied. For having things taken care of.
Wow. So when it comes to the security of it, I think when I had one on my phone, and I like that. I really really enjoy, because it's for those people that really, it's almost like trying to define the difference between Apple and Samsung. You know what I'm saying? Like, with Apple being more business use and
Right.
Samsung
Right.
being, more fun and games and all of this and that. I've had that one vault that I did store all of my files. And when it comes to that, are you do you have any concerns about black hat hackers or anything like that?
No, no, because the platform is secured through AWS, which is Amazon Web Services. I mean, it's, and they have options for anything and everything.
Yeah.
Security is 256 bit, so uh, on my end, on the
Yeah.
software end, so security is not an issue.
Yeah.
Information stored, if information stored in Store and Share Vault is secure. Now,
Yeah.
of course, just like any other application of software out there, there are always people that are, trying to get in, which is why I decided to go with AWS, because they have so many measures in place that even if someone happens to get to that first level, they have other tiers, and they're going to
Yeah.
see you at that first level anyway, so they'll know exactly what to do, at that moment. So that was the
Yeah.
reason why I decided to go with them rather than spend a whole lot of money initially, getting servers set up and then buying security software. I didn't want to recreate the wheel. There's something already there that can be used that's really stable and really safe.
Yeah. Wow. And I asked that because I think that's a concern, when it comes to a lot of people, the security of these tech devices and all of this and that. Now, so we know that we're getting a really really good storage vault and really really secure. What does it take? When it comes to tech nowadays, what does it take for those people that's really really interested? I have a plethora of people that watch this. What does it take for something of that magnitude, you know.
It takes a lot. My background,
If you can share that.
yeah, my background. Um, I was a telecommunications engineer for 23 years,
Yeah,
so I really have a tech mindset. You know, I'm
yeah,
used to I'm used to finding solutions for problems. So for me, it wasn't that difficult. You know, it was all about me knowing, okay, this is what's needed. Okay, and this
yeah,
is where I want it to be. So at that point, I had to figure out everything in between. And again, as an engineer, you know that's not something that was really difficult for me. Then at that point, once I had everything laid out, how I wanted everything, that's when I went out and I found a development company or a development team. I put together a development team to start to put everything together for me.
yeah,
Um, and you know, it's it's difficult. It's not an easy process. The first
yeah,
development team that I used, I ended up firing them and finding another development team to do the work for me. And of course, every time you do something like that, you know, there's a setback. You know, there's more money involved. So it's not a cheap process at all. Um,
yeah,
but I knew I was going to do it regardless. And at the time, you know, there were some people that came forward, you know, who wanted to help, you know, monetarily and all that. But I didn't want that then because that meant I, I had to sort of share. I'm not going to say responsibilities, but you know, all of a sudden you get everybody in your ear like, well, you know, maybe you should do it this way, or maybe you should do it
yeah,
that way. And I knew right off the bat, it had to be set up this way. I have to do it this way, and the reason being is because I wanted to make it scalable. I wanted to be able to say, okay, now I want to do this with it. Now I want to do this with it. And the way it's being set up, I can do that.
yeah.
So, you know, when you get people with money coming in telling you, you know, how they think you should do things, they're not looking at it the same way that you are.
Right, yeah,
And
yeah,
and us and to me, I think black people are the most creative people in the world, the most creative people in the world. But we don't
yes,
always know how to, you know, how to start things, and we don't always have the money to start
yeah,
the things. So another thing that I'm working on, which will it'll probably be about 9 or 10 months from now. I'm working on a company um, that's going to help people that have ideas about applications. You know, about anything that, okay, this is the problem, here's a solution. Anything
yeah,
that's problem based and solution based, you know, that's what that's what this company is going to do. It's going to deal with that. So it'll provide you with an avenue to be able to to do that. Which is there are things out there now for that, but going in, they're either going to have they're either going to have you sell them that idea right off the bat,
yeah,
which you're only going to get a fraction of what it's worth, or they're going to try to charge you 50, 60 grand to get it done.
yeah,
So I think it's something that's really needed in our neighborhood, and that's although Store and Share Vault is up and going, and it's starting to pick up traction and everything. That project is one that I'm really excited about.
yeah, yeah. Wow, that talking about sharing uh the responsibility of ownership and people investing in that was something that I experienced. I created I don't want to say what it is because it's already like a situation with it now where I shared the information with the company, and now there's a a part of the design that's floating around. So they actually wanted $150,000 to before the trade shows and all of this and that, the promises and all of this and that. And then I look up and see, for y'all that's watching, I look up and see. Be careful with what you share, just like what Michael just said. I look up and see a part of the design, not 100%, but a part of which would take away from what I created to a whole nother creation. So you have to really be careful with who you bring in as partners, or even if you want to allow people to partner with you, just for the sake of having enough money to get it done. Because in African American communities and a lot of communities, bro, I think we lack the resource.
Oh,
The
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
and sometimes it's just think about if you went into five communities, five lower class communities, and picked 10 people out of each one of those communities, how many ideas you would have amongst those people from those communities. But if you're in these communities, the goal is to. I grew up on the fairground. You grew up in Buckner, but it did not stop the goal. It did not stop the dream. It did not stop the desire, the will to want better, to do better, and to be better.
Right, and I think growing up the way we did, it allowed us to be more creative. You know, it allowed our minds to venture out into other things. Like, okay, you know, we always knew that there were better things out there, but we
Yes,
didn't have access to it. We didn't know how to get there, but
yes,
our minds took us there.
yes, yes. So I don't. If you was to go, if I because you said something a few minutes ago when you said about not allowing people to come in as a partner to say, what is the approach that you, if you was to give any advice, because I think this is stuff that people want to know. Like sometimes we get anxious, and somebody could know that it's $1 million idea, and they may have $10,000, and you may just be going to work every day. So
Right.
what is the advice that you would give that person, when it comes to being anxious and not being patient?
The first thing I was telling them is uh, any before you talk to anyone about any idea you have in your head, you have them sign a non-disclosure agreement. You're going to hear that they're going to refer to it as an NDA.
Hmm.
You always want to have that in place first. Um, Second thing is, you know, you want to do your research. Are there other businesses or other apps or, you know, other avenues out there that are doing the same thing that you know you're considering getting into? Is and the main question I always ask myself when I get ready to do things is, um, what's going to set me apart from anybody else that may decide to get over into what I'm doing?
Yeah,
That's the first question. The second question, which could, you know, these questions could be interchanged, is what problem am I solving? You know, because
yeah,
the way I look at things is, okay, if I have an idea, uh, okay, I'm going to put it on paper. I'm going to make some notes. I'm going to do some pros and cons. And me and the way I think, I don't care if there are other people out there that's doing it because I know I'm going to come up with a way to do it better than them.
yeah,
Is I'm either going to add to it or I'm going to figure out how to make it better. So I
yeah,
don't necessarily get concerned get too concerned with you know you know is it going to solve anything? But that question, is it going to solve anything? That's huge for when you're at a point to where you're going to want investors' money. You know,
yeah,
because that's the first thing they're going to look at. Okay, okay, what's the problem? Okay, what is it solving?
yes,
So that's what they that's their first question. That's the first question they're going to ask.
yeah,
So I'm different than that. Because I do believe that if you're going to do anything, and I used to tell my boys this when they were growing up, it doesn't matter what you do, even if you're taking the trash out, be the best at it. You know,
yes, yes,
make sure everything is in the can.
yeah.
I mean, and that goes a long way because
It does.
it teaches you to pay attention to detail. You
Yes,
know, this is something you'll get automatically if you go to if you've gone to the military. But if you haven't gone to the military, you know, it's what you have to do. You have to pay attention to detail. You have to pay attention to the small things because
yeah,
that's what people pay attention to. You know, you have to care about people. You have to be concerned about people. You have to help people. You have to give
yes,
back.
yes, yeah. So I'm actually a part of an information technology class now, and um, I thought, and it ain't no hesitance when I say this. I thought I wanted to try computer science. When I saw, at first I did the I looked up the information at Gramblin's computer science class, and then I saw the math, and oh my gosh, it's just like nah, nah,
And
no,
that's a great field. I mean, that field just opens everything up for you, man, technology wise.
yeah, yeah, and that's the interesting part when Debbie told me about it, and I was like, wow, where where did it all begin? When it comes to technology, technology is just like, do you have a concern? But let me ask this: do you have a concern for the tech world now, as to the downside, as far as the black hat hacking, the viruses? Do you have a concern for it?
I don't. I really don't, because anytime you're dealing with technology, you're gonna have both sides. You're gonna have you're gonna have the bad side. You're gonna have the good side. But I think
Yeah,
both of them together actually it helps evolve technology. I
yeah,
believe that
yes,
that's why today there's a big conversation around AI. AI is beautiful. AI is a gorgeous thing. AI can
yeah,
do so much for so many people, but at the same time, it can be used to it can be used to trick people.
yeah,
But it all boils down to the individual. I mean, and yeah, I'm gonna tell a story about. Well, I'm not gonna tell a story, but but there was like, okay, there was someone I know who received a phone call. They received a phone call. Someone's telling them that um, their credit card, uh, was purchased to buy a certain product, and but the product isn't available, and they had another one, but they needed a credit card number, right? So to me, that's a no brainer. Buy. I'm
yeah,
not even going to entertain a conversation. But
yeah,
everyone is not built that way. Everyone doesn't have that mentality. And I'm the same way with an email. If I see an email come across that I'm not familiar with, it's
yes,
automatically deleted. I do not
yes,
do any research. I do no research. You're gone. I don't know
yeah,
who you are. I don't know what this is. Because to me,
yeah,
if it even banks, you get emails from banks. You reset your password. Well, you have apps now. Every bank has an app.
yeah,
You know, okay. You haven't done anything to mess anything up, but you still feel the need to research it, to look into it.
oh my
No,
god,
that's where
yeah,
everything goes wrong. Don't do that.
yeah. Yeah, man, this spam has really gotten out of control. And this is what you specialize in. If y'all watching this, I hope y'all listening and paying attention, because you're dealing with a specialist when it comes to technology. I think that's the thing that everybody's talking about. The thing that everybody's worried about. The future of our existence. Is it wrapped up in AI and so many other these tech giants and all of this and that. So when it comes to somebody that I know, somebody that I trust to give you this type of information and to create something so amazing that you can use with the security that it has, why wouldn't you take this information? Why wouldn't you? You know what I'm saying? So I with that question, the downside and the upside, you know what I'm saying? I think I can definitely put the biggest of my trust on the upside. I think it's a downside to everything, just like you said. It's a
Absolutely, absolutely.
yeah. So what was we all have those triggering moments where an idea spark. I think for this part, this was not my idea. This was a friend of mine. The podcast. He actually uh asked me to be a part of his podcast. We was trying to start an online financial institute. up in Maryland, and we actually got the ball rolling, but he was just so slow about getting there. Chris, if you ever see this, I'm sorry. I apologize, but because that's my guy. I love him, but he was just I tell him this. He was so slow about getting things done. I would contact him. Did you get the information I need? Oh man, I got home last night and I went to sleep. He'll probably laugh if he said, and uh, and they just went on. So I said, dang, he came up with a name. He said, I finally paid for the name, the domain, and all of this and that, and that's good. We got the ad going. We still don't have a podcast. So I said, well, well, I'm just gonna try this myself. So I started with I was already I had got a video on TikTok with 2 million views. So I'm in the game now. So I said, well, maybe I should try this myself. And that's where it began. That's where it started at. What was that triggering moment for you to come up with the dynamics of something this big?
It was the passing. It was the passing of my sister's husband,
Yeah,
and just and I I I went back home, went back to Tallulah. I'm sitting down with her, and we're physically going through paperwork. We're going over paperwork. We're trying to figure out, uh, you know, what's his, what's not his, and the documents that are his, are they the most current?
yeah,
Or does he have 401ks for past jobs? All of that, everything. And then,
yes,
and she had them in 3 or 4 different folders. So we're going from this folder to that folder to that folder. And right then and there, I'm like, being a tech kid, I'm like, there's definitely a better way to do this. And I know I wasn't the first person to think that.
yeah,
I was the first person to sit down and kind of lay everything out of how everything should flow. Everything that
yeah,
in a way that it'll be easier for users. So that's when it started for me. And my mind is always going, man. I love the idea of learning. I'll sit down and I won't read a book. I hate reading, but
yeah,
I I,
yeah.
I,
I had
I
a
have
follow,
read
man.
books, but I think you should always be learning. Not saying that you should be in a school somewhere learning, but if it's something that you're interested in, you can find everything online. Just sit
Yes,
there, watch a video,
yes,
read, anything. So and then for me, it was something else. It was somewhere else to put my mind to, because if I don't have anything that I'm thinking about, I don't feel right, for
yeah,
some reason. It's like
yeah.
I always have to have something going on, and that was just one of the things at the time, and that's why I'm already talking about doing something else, because I
Wow,
have to. That's how I'm wired.
yeah, wow. That's amazing. Even in that moment, I know that was a tough time, and I feel like I've missed so many moments, just because I'm always on the move. I was from Arkansas to Maryland, from Maryland to Georgia. And my mind is always going. I'm always coming up with something to do. I don't care if it work or not. I'm gonna try.
That's it. That's it. That's it. Like I said, I started. After I sort of retired from telecommunications. I ended up in commercial janitorial. That
Yeah,
wasn't something I was planning on doing. It I was at the right place at the right time. I was at the time I was doing sort of home repairs, and someone just asked me about it. Like, you know anybody that does this? Like, no, but what are you looking for? you know,
yeah,
he told me what he
yeah,
was looking for. I was, okay, I got you. I can take care of that.
yeah.
Man, a week and a half, I had the business set up. I had people ready to go. It's
Wow.
right place, right time. The opportunity presented itself.
Yeah, yeah. That.
There isn't anything that I do that I'm doing now that I planned on doing.
Wow, wow. That's amazing. That's amazing because a lot of times we have the blueprint for our life, and then God have the real blueprint. Or I say we have the plan and He have the blueprint. I just say it like that because because you couldn't have never told me that this is something that I would be doing. This is something that I would enjoy doing. I never even thought about. I got some guests coming up now. Even today, I was like, oh man, just I don't. It's never anxiety. It's just the. I think it's just me wanting to. I'm inspired. I'm intrigued by so many people. I don't have a set person that I'm inspired. I'm inspired by so many people that tried. If it didn't work, it didn't stop right there. It just kept going. You know what I'm saying? So when you told me about, you could have told me that you came up with a pancake company. I would have been like, oh man, that's. But to come up with the to come up with something like that, you know what I'm saying? That's not the typical mind. We always want to go easy. We always want to stay safe. It,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's natural. That's natural with everyone.
yeah,
Everybody doesn't have the same mindset. I'm the type person. I'll look at something, and it could be there could be 20 negative things about it and two positive things, and
yeah,
I'll try to see if I could add more positive things to it to in order to be more than 20, I guess. So,
yeah,
to add up to equal to or be more
yeah.
than that. That's just how I think. That's my mindset.
So
Like,
are you?
nothing's a right off the bat. Now, if I start doing it, I don't have a problem with failing either. If I start something and it doesn't work out,
Yeah.
okay, next,
Next.
next. I'm not going to not do it because I have a fear of it not
Right.
working, and
Right.
I don't even understand that, but that's how a lot of people are.
Yeah. So I don't. Do you have a plan? You know how when we start stuff like I already have how I want the next phase of this podcast. I started the volume 1 life hacks, volume 2. So I already have. Do you have a plan already for the stories about? Is there like that 2.0 plan?
Well, the 2.0 plan would be the enterprise version, for businesses.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah,
and I only want to be working another 4 years at max, 4 years max, and
yeah,
I want to be retired. I want grandbabies. I want to be down in the Caribbean somewhere.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
that's my plan. That's what I'm working towards.
yeah. So I do have it's a quite a few companies, but I do have five main companies that really support this podcast. Five big companies that really support this podcast, and the staff and team watch. So if y'all listening, I'm waiting on a sponsorship first, but if you you, yes, you got it. If you got it, because they support really strong. They've been in my analytics for a while. That try this. If you a representative or anybody from one of those companies, make sure you're listening. At least give it a try. Um, as far as the technology itself, bro. Uh, where can the app be found? Where can it be downloaded at?
Right now we're at and the mobile apps are currently under development right now. It's just a web app, which means it's on internet. It's the
Yeah,
World Wide Web, as some people still know it as.
yeah,
So it's store STORE and the word AND
yeah.
share vault.io
Okay,
.io store and share vault.io.
yeah,
That's where it can be found. Um, if there's some you want to talk about, you could always give us a call. It's 470-385-1829. Email is michael.swift@storeandsharevault.io.
yeah. So is it before those 4 years are up and you hanging out in the Caribbeans with the grandbabies and and all of this and that? Is it if you can't say, I understand. What are we looking for next from Michael Swift?
Uh, it's the and it's it's sort of the it's gonna I'm gonna come up with the incubator platform to help others be able to get a sound app idea out, designed
Wow.
and published. So that's going to be my next major project.
Any are you or would you, but like you have those people that would you be interested in doing tutorials and what I'm saying? You know how I think when it comes to the world now, they these classes and webinars and all of that. Is that anything that we could look forward to? If I just wanted to know some information, you know what I'm saying?
Uh, well, it depends on on the information you're looking for. First and foremost, surround yourself with people that know more than you do. You know, it's okay to have friends. It's okay to have people that you hang out with, laugh and joke. But you have to
Yes,
have people around you that push you. You have to have
yes,
people around you that know more than you, some that you can learn from. Because if you don't, just like they say, you are what you eat.
yeah,
Well, you are the people that you hang around with most of the time.
yeah,
Most of the time. Now, I'm not
yeah.
saying dump your friends, and find others. Just find their organization. And I'm not sure I'm not sure about a lot of cities, but there are organizations around like Atlanta Black Chambers. I mean, that they helped me grow my businesses.
Wow.
Businesses. I mean, you know, they call, there's no, okay, well, okay, I have this. Can you give me a deal? What can you do for me? No. It's like, okay, you're a business owner, you have to survive. This is what you charge for. That's what it is
Yes,
you know so a lot of times we get caught up into what type deal can we get, but that's a business. That business has to survive. You
yes,
can survive on deals. You have a product that you have specifically priced, and that price covers your overhead and everything else, so that's where you need to be. Deals,
yes,
you're going to lose money on those. So as consumers, just be mindful of those. Of course, it's better for us if we can find deals,
yeah,
but in order for us to take care of each other, we have to do what everyone else does.
yes. Yeah, I totally. That's something that I totally agree with, and that's something that I don't make a habit of. I don't even. It's nothing that I even do when it comes to because we could know the price of something, but to understand the value of it, you could know why somebody put this as their price, but when you misconstrue the value of something, like a person spend $100 to make something and then sell it for 60. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like yeah. So when it comes to us, just people in general, when you go into businesses or you find people that's starting their business, don't go looking for no deals. Don't go looking for the hookup. If you get the hookup on something, I can guarantee you the hookup and even the hookup is still you still paying more than what it's worth. I found it out a
Right.
long time ago when I stopped in the mall, and and this is not to knock the guys in the mall that's selling the cell phone cases, but I thought I was getting a I thought I was getting a deal on the cell phone case. So the guy say I knocked the price down from $40 to $20. I say, well, that's you'll knock it down from 40 to 20. I quickly threw him to 20, and not knowing that they ain't paying them but $1 or $2 to
Right.
to to have them shipped from another country
Or that piece of plastic. Right.
for that piece of plastic. So when it comes to the deals and the prices that people have set on their product or their brand, make sure we support and make sure we supporting each other. You have a good product right here that Mike has created, and is let's push it. Let's be supportive. The companies that's listening, I don't want to say the names. The companies that's listening, the companies that's supporting. Um, I appreciate y'all, but make sure if you made it to this point in this podcast, I hope you are. listening, bro. Before we go, what is it? I love doing this. I love doing this because so many people, and believe it or not, we have. When I check the analytics, we have a bigger class of older people that watch, but it starts at 17. What would you say to that kid? What would you say to that kid that we've been there? I'm 45, and I could still go back to those days when we was just up in church and eating Sister Willie Mae hamburgers, you know, you know, those days back then we was running around Buckner, couldn't wait to get out of church so we could run around in the parking lot. What do you say to that kid that that dream, but they don't see the resources, they probably don't see a way right now? What do you say to that kid?
Continue to dream. Uh, you can't find resources, internet, use the internet. If you can't find what you're looking for on the internet, look for organizations. Even if you're 12 years old and you're interested, even if it is an adult organization, find a number and call, send an
Yeah,
email, send a text, do it anyway. Do it anyway.
yeah,
I've always, to me, it's always been yes or no. If I ask you something, yes or no. If you say no, then I move on. If you say
yeah,
yes, then we can talk more. Don't be afraid. Have no fear. Be fearless. Be fearless and always learn. If it's something that you're interested in, learn what you can first about it.
yeah,
Again, you've got internet, you've got YouTube. Information is out there everywhere.
yeah,
Learn first before you go to someone and ask for help. All right.
yes,
And I also want to share full store and share vault pricing for that. It starts at $6.99 a month or $71 a year. So
wow,
that's the price range for it. And we're constantly updating, adding more services. So anything that's added, you get access to, and the price stays the same. So one of the things I really wanted to make sure was that it was affordable to everyone. And
yeah,
there are applications, there are software out there that's similar to Store and Share Vault with not nearly as many options, and their pricing is astronomical. It just makes
yeah,
no sense.
yeah. Well, I appreciate it. You've heard it here. Wherever you are, something that I always say: wherever you are in the world, it don't matter what place in the world you are. Wherever you are in the world, I hope that you take this information, and I hope that you use it. You're dealing with a secure vault. Uh, you've heard it here. If you have any questions, any concerns, he left his information. You can find him on Facebook. Uh, that's his name right here at the bottom. Is there anything else that you want to give us before we go, bro?
No, let's get it. Let's take care of our future generations. Let's Generational wealth has to start somewhere, and there are many of us in our in our community where we have aunts that passed, we have grandmothers that passed, and because
Yes.
they didn't have something in place, that opportunity for generation wealth just fell by the wayside. Because there was no will, because everything goes into probate, and when it goes into probate, which is the court system, that's another conversation for another time. You know,
Yeah.
they do decide who gets what, but they still take off the top, so you don't get that full amount. Probate has to be paid for.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's paid for from the accumulation, what the aunt had, what the grandmother had, what the grandfather has. So those are just things in our community that we have to learn more about.
Yeah.
We have to be aware of those things.
Yes. And for those people that are in any community, I'm so big on our culture because that's who I am. But I've also met so many amazing people from every walk of life. Um, my brother Luis, who I love, Carolyn. So it's bigger than just a skin color. We have to be
Yes.
responsible for each other spiritually. So when it comes to any information or resources that you feel like you lack, he giving you the answer. Go to the internet, do your research, and look. Just don't have the idea and let it go to waste. So many people do that. They have the idea, and if don't nobody just walk up and put it in their hand, it's just an idea going down the drain. Well, if you're not gonna do nothing with it, tell somebody. At least make sure they give you the credit for having the idea. You know, Give it, pass it on. We have a me and Jaron have and I don't know, I can't. It's so much that I can't say about this, but we designed it was basically a fitness suit. We designed the suit, and it just, we passed the information off to what we thought was a company, and they ended up being sued. So you have to really, really be careful with what you do with this information. If you're gonna pass it off, if you don't have the resources, give it to somebody that you know that you trust.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So we appreciate you tuning in wherever you at in the world. I love you. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you for coming on, and I'm
You're
gonna
welcome.
go and,
You're
yeah, I'm gonna go and download and get my vault. Is it any device concern when it comes to it? It's just for every device.
No, it's like I said, right now. It's the iOS and Android versions. They should be ready next month, the end of next month. But right now, it's just internet based. So you can go and whether explore,
Okay.
what is it, the Google internet
Yeah.
browser, iOS internet browser. You can go to any one of those and just go to storandsharevault.io and get started there.
Yes, sir. Man, I appreciate you. We we go way back. So let me ask you this while we on here. Are you gonna be with us in July? You in the
Yes,
fight?
yes,
Oh,
yes,
okay,
I am.
okay,
Yes, well, yes,
uh,
we are. Yes, we are. Me
yeah,
and the wife we will be there.
okay, yeah. We plan on having a real good time, and I just talked to everybody this morning. I'm saying this on the podcast. So if anybody back out, Debbie did say yes. Debbie said yes. We're gonna do a family. We're gonna do an Our Crazy Family podcast. Our ridiculously crazy.
All right, okay, a disclaimer. I am a different person after 5 p.m. Sometimes up to 6 p.m.
Yeah, yeah. So you get a chance to see a different side. You get a chance to see a different side than the professional side.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna do the whole family. We're gonna get the whole family on the podcast. I'm gonna bring the whole setup. So we're
Oh,
gonna get everybody on.
that's gonna be
Yeah,
cool.
yes, yeah, and fun. So I appreciate y'all tuning in. I appreciate y'all listening. I hope that if you know somebody that can use this information, please, please don't hesitate to get them to watch, even share this episode. Please share it to them. It streams on every platform. I wish I could name them all. I'll have to. You can't Google. That's that's an upgrade for me. You can Google us now. So Google Google even have a Q&A for us now. So Google Flex Zone, that's FLEXXXZONE, Flex Zone podcast. You have to Google it all together. Check out this episode. Please share it. If you want to, you could go back on a few other. I have 3 different uh, podcasts streaming right now. Uh, I forgot the other 2, but I know right now we're in volume 1 of Life Hacks, and we ended that. So I appreciate y'all. I really do. Everybody that streamed, there's so many downloads, so many streams, so many people, so many different places. I appreciate it. I'm just a little boy from Tallulah, and I don't even know if you heard of Tallulah and Buckner, but that's where we from.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. So we appreciate y'all. Hey, I love you, big bro. I appreciate you joining in.
So proud of you, bro. So proud of you.
Yeah,
So
I
proud of you.
appreciate it. Yes, sir. So once we get done, I will hit you up and send it over, let you check it out, and then we'll get this thing published and posted. I appreciate it, bro. You too, man.